So you want to talk about the education system. I understand you're a teacher. Is that correct?
Yeah, I'm a lecturer at Farnborough College. I've been teaching generally for a number of years now,
Mm.
both in secondary schools and in colleges. In further education college, we've also taught adults as well, people that want a specific qualification in order to try and get on with their particular careers.
What are your kind of views on the education system?
Secondary schools seem to be all about exams. Now, not every student is good at exams. Memorizing a whole load of information, churning it out in the exam, and then as soon as you walk out the exam room, you've probably forgotten about 50 to 60% of what you've actually written down anyway. There's no real learning going on. Also, it's too academic, and what is needed is some kind of vocational provision for certain students who are not so academically gifted or not so academically inclined. Also, provisions for other arms of education which is neglected, such as the arts. A headmistress in a particular secondary school in London said, "Music and drama I can do without. I must have my core subjects." And the core subjects are maths and science. In this particular nation, it would be quite useful for us to actually have some kind of grip on at least another language other than English. You might just think, oh yeah, art is just a hobby, music is just a hobby, it's not important. What if you have a child who's very passionate and very good at art, or very passionate and very good at music, or very passionate and very good at languages, or want to express themselves in languages? That person really does feel bad. They're thinking, oh yeah, my subject is just pushed along the side, and I'm forced to do maths, which I can't really do, or science, which I can't really do very well.
I do agree that we shouldn't marginalise certain subjects. Although if you do have two different arms, what would happen in terms of people who gone down the sort of more creative route or the less academic route, and then they've decided that they want to do something more academic, or vice versa? And also some people develop a bit later in terms of their sort of academic skills. So what about them?
Having the two arms that could be in the same institutions. There are people that develop later on in life. There are people that develop certain skills as a result of something else happening in their life as well. They discover something about themselves which they didn't discover before, or something they discovered a long time ago, but it has been buried. It was buried because of peer pressure. It was buried because somebody said to them, oh, it's not really important. It's frivolous. It's just a waste of time. It was dismissed. Probably traumatic for a child when you have that kind of gift and it is dismissed. But as an adult, you make choices and you think, oh yes, I can revive that again. Even as mature adults, interests change all the time. You may have visions, you want to do A, and it doesn't turn out to be what you expect it to be. And as a result of actually growing up, you may take interest in something else. You might just think, that might be a good career. Perhaps I might go down that route. But another thing is that, okay, you may think you're stuck for 2 years doing A-levels and you say, I want to be a sports player, okay? My advice is to say, stick with the 2 years of doing your A-levels, then you have the qualifications. And if you want to go into sports later on or go into something else later on, then you can. People have got to think about what they've got the aptitude to do. I mean, for example, if you know you are tone deaf, you will not say, I want to be a musician. You can go to drawing classes and go to art classes, for instance, and you can be taught how to draw. But you may not have the natural, innate ability to draw really lovely pictures. You have two people working equally as hard, but one is probably just going to be just that little bit better than the other because of what you probably call natural ability and natural aptitude. Okay, think about what do you like, what do you enjoy doing? Because there is nothing like waking up and going to somewhere where if you're going to be spending 8 hours, will actually tell on you after a while. Now, some people may not have that choice because they've been stuck, or they're used to a certain lifestyle because the actual job pays them a certain amount of money, which pays them the mortgage, which gives them the holidays. And if they were to quit that and finding an equivalent is either going to take time, or they may not even find an equivalent. So there is that trap. And people think, oh yes, I haven't got choice. I've got to go to work. I've got to pay the mortgage. I've got to pay the bills. I've got to make sure everything's okay. But as human beings, we're more than just around to just to pay bills. We are here to contribute to the wider society. We are all interconnected. The thing about jobs is that it changes. Probably are not going to come back, or probably not going to be as big as they were pre-pandemic. Look at office spaces. I mean, I live in a town where you have a lot of empty office blocks, and that was pre-pandemic. It's going to probably be worse now. There are going to be certain jobs which are going to be not obsolete, but they're not going to be as big, and there's going to be other jobs that are going to crop up. So therefore, one has to think of the transient ways and not just think of just one career. Lawyers will be needed all the time, but there's going to be different types of lawyers. As IT comes up, there are going to be different types of lawyers which are associated with IT. The way in which people teach is going to be different. I mean, I've been doing a lot of online teaching. Okay, post-pandemic, think about the days when there were snow days. They can easily say, you're not having a snow day, you're having your lessons online.
People's attitude, I think, has changed towards work. I think the kind of millennial generation, which I kind of just about come into, they're very much focused on sort of work-life balance and thinking about how their work affects them as people, which is sort of kind of quite different, I think, from the sort of previous generation.
We didn't have any mobiles in those days. But nowadays, it's a case of you're always contactable. And people will take advantage of you always contactable. Your emails, the first thing you do probably even on a Saturday morning is just you check your emails to find out what's been said, what the result of the meeting was. And it's all too much. So therefore, you just need to have that kind of time to switch off. Previous generations, you left work at a particular time, you got home at a particular time. And that was the working day due to technology. We are connected to our jobs because people expect you to do things a bit more instantly.
So you're a teacher. What do you think it offers in terms of variety and in terms of sort of satisfaction?
It offers a lot of satisfaction and it offers variety because no two students are the same every week or every day. You're giving them the tools for them to make adult choices about where they want to go. They may be studying a particular topic, but are they going to continue with that at university? Are they going to continue with that at going to do an apprenticeship? How are they going to introduce themselves to the company to make them think that they are useful to the company? How are you going to get them to get work experience? And not only that, every vocational course has got an academic side of it. They have to do assignments, etc. It's not, you can't get away from that. You're helping them with how to structure those, how to actually use tools, and especially in engineering like AutoCAD and SolidWorks, and how to use their creativity in order to bring out the best in whatever reports or whatever design that they come up with. And also, it's not just the academic side, it's also the pastoral side. Now, the pastoral side is very important because you've got to teach them about how to make good choices in terms of how they live. And you have to tell a bit of your story in order to try and help them. I believe that I found my vocation, but then again, if you think about teaching, it doesn't, people just think it's just going to a school and teaching a whole load of kids. You can go teach online, you can teach in a school, in a college, in a prison, pupil referral unit, in an old people's home, in an adult education college. There's lots of different branches that one can actually do. I've taught 16 to 18s for a long time. I've taught 11 to 16s for a long time. Maybe I would like to go and teach adults. Maybe I would like to go and teach younger children. Maybe I like to teach special needs children. And again, within special needs, there's different types of special needs as well. I don't like putting labels of people, but special needs and all those type of things. So in terms of my career, I feel that within teaching, I've still got a lot to offer.
Thank you for the interview.
Okay, excellent.